Greetings, friends, family, and survivors. Well, looks like the sun is going to peek out. That's fun. Snowing this morning. Great big old wet flakes. Ice yesterday. Well, let's go in and see how the wax job looks. I think it looks pretty good. Always did like the floors. Every stick of wood in the house we met as a tree. That looks nice. So the house is back on the grid. So it's got a electric water heater, an electric dryer outlet. Still the only heat in the house is the wood stove. Needs paint. We used to have about 35 people in here every Wednesday night for home fellowship. So, Dad made the cabinets in the shop. And the madrone for the countertops. I fell that tree a long time ago. We sank it in the bottom of the pond for 8 years to get it to equalize. And we were actually able to dry it without any warpage. But I'd bore you with the scientific reason for that. I used to be a dry kiln manager. And madrone is one of the hardest woods to dry. And so the table there is madrone. And this one is English walnut. And the floor is all pine. And at one time I wanted this to be a breakfast nook. And Carol decided it was just the right size pantry. These pantry shelves are 24 inches deep and just store a lot of canned goods in here. And so I think the kids are going to be really happy with it. You see, it used to have a propane water heater in here. So now the only thing gas in the whole house is just the oven. But it's kind of a pretty place. We built this house for $5,500 a lot of years ago. So now that everything's out of it, I can take you on a tour. Pickets on the railings with a gate at the end so that you can wheel laundry out to the madrone tree. Way out there. And this is all live oak, a tree I met down by the river on a logging job. A man named John Sargent. He's passed on now. Bailey stands outside her stall because she hates the sound of rain on the roof. And believe it or not, that's not the first horse we've had that way. So this is the ship's ladder. Dad built that out of fir up at the shop. And so I cut a hole in the ceiling so I could just go up here to the office. think this room probably needs paint too. Patched a few holes where the bookshelves were. This is the only room in the house that has air conditioning. It's the only room that ever needed it. So got bubble wrap on the windows to help insulate it, but it is a amazing view from up here. I just fogged some water on with a spray bottle and just stuck the bubble wrap right on it. I imagine the kids will take that off. Pretty nice view. And that's English walnut. Excuse me. That's a piece of black walnut. There's only 2 pieces of black walnut in the house. And this deck is 2.5 stories up. And it really is pretty at night. I light the deck with the Christmas lights. And for quite a few years, we had the hot tub right there. But when I went off grid, 6 years ago in May, we turned it off and it never turned on again. So now we've got a little gate up here for the kids. Keep that safe. So in the next few months, I'll get Carol's shop moved and decommission all the solar panels. Right now, in 20 minutes, I could have the whole thing lit back up on solar power. Basically, just connect the BMSs on the Tesla batteries and let the BMSs wake up, and it'd be right back online. So everything we have on this property, both houses, the guest house, the shop, and all of the storage buildings, all came from lumber right here on the property. Can't go this way, but I locked that door. Sure did. So that's the master bedroom, the master bath. Got vaulted ceilings. I'll take you around and show you that. So back in the office again, before I cut that hole, the way we heated, but that's going to blow some dust when I turn it on. Oh, not too bad. That pulls hot air out of the living room ceiling and blows the hot air in here and then down that hole in the floor, down to the dining room. It's a dining room down there. And that heated this room for years. And then I cut a hole in it because I was tired of going around. And yeah, now it doesn't heat with the fan anymore. And with those fans running like that 24 hours a day, it distributes the heat through the whole house. But when we went off grid, at 610 watts our very first month, I couldn't afford to run those fans, and the truth is, on modified sine they were very noisy, and so consequently it would be cold downstairs and very warm upstairs. This is one of my favorite rooms. And this one is just all done in board and bat with blue pine. Some of it's buggy blue. And we had some leaded beveled crystals. And Dad put them in wood frames for some clear story lights. Gotta love it. So some of you lost your shirts in the '08 crash, and that was because of the felonious actions of the subprime lending institution, though legislation was tried to get passed 18 times to stop the Barney Frank, Freddie Mac debacle. And I didn't lose my shirt in '08. We did in '89. Yeah. And that's why we built this house out of pocket. And Dad built his house out of pocket. Because the earthquake, I'll make a video on that. The earthquake in 1989, a 7.1 earthquake. And the English Tudor that we were building, we had to lower the price. The first month of the earthquake, in our price bracket, higher end homes, they sell for a couple $1 million today. 5,500 of them flooded the market, and at that point it became a real buyer's market, and we had to drop the price considerably because it was a spec house, and we would have had to refinance it, make payments on it. As it was with a construction loan, you're paying interest only. And so we took a big hit on that one and ended up my house, which is about a quarter of a mile to the right of this picture on the front on 6 acres. We had to sell it, and then Dad's house just became a mobile home. We set a mobile home up there, and ended up building both these houses out of pocket because of the earthquake. When it hit, I think we went from fair market value at the time was $790, and it sold for $540. So obviously there went our new homes. And that happened to a lot of people in '08. And so life changes. So I was just going to live here in a fifth wheel. Dad says, why don't you build a house? We had just bought a sawmill. Well, it made sense. So we initially built this house for $5,500. And I think that mostly was roofing, insulation, sheetrock, doors and windows. Everything else we had. And so I'm hoping to do that again. Believe it or not, we're going to try it again. So this was 2 bedrooms originally when we built the house. The master bedroom was downstairs, and there was 2 bedrooms up here and a long hallway. I'll show you out here. This balcony here used to go all the way across. And this is where the kids played when they were little. And then after everybody moved out, Carol says, let's put the master bedroom upstairs and add a bathroom. So that's what we did. Back when the kids were little, this was one of the kids' room. That's when they broke the glass in that window, and we never did change it. She does dearly miss her clawfoot tub. So it's old, needing paint and floor coverings. This was my gun room, the gun safe, where I do all the gunsmithing and stuff up here. And my son Matt, he's a hunter, so he'll enjoy that. Like these doors, years ago we bought, how many of those did we buy? They're 10 light windows. I think we bought 12 of them from a wholesaler for like $50 each. And so building custom homes for so many years, we accumulated a lot of stuff. I really like the burnt and brushed exposed beams. We used to build that way back in the 70s. And you just get a great big old propane torch and you char your posts and beams in a good 1/4 of an inch. Then you take a boar bristle brush, organic brush, and you brush it down, and it gives you that look, or it just causes the grain to stand out. And so the beams in this house are exposed, burnt, brushed beams. And you can see for 30 years we never do get all the overspray from the texture off that beam. So the same thing with the outside bedroom and the beauty salon, the solar shed and the chicken coop. Just drop a tree and mill it up and buy some nails. You can see here never did finish the floor coverings. So the first 6 years we were in the home, we just had painted floors. And in fact, the steps are 2x12s. They're just painted. And the floors downstairs, we put in probably 17, 18 years ago. I don't know how long it's been. But we met that as a pine tree, and we dried it full 1 by full 4, and then we sent it out to a mill to run a matchbook S4S tongue and groove relieved backside. So if you're a builder, you know what that means. And I've got a floor nailer because we did a lot of hardwood floors back in the day. And we saved all of the boards that have no knots for Dad's house, and all the boards that had knots, because Carol liked it, went into this house. And I had to search high and low to find metal that had character. And Carol wanted metal in her new house. She wants the same thing. She wants used corrugated roofing for backsplashes. So this metal, even though it looks, old, it's actually all been brushed and then clear coated with a clear sealer, so it's easy to clean. Yeah, I don't think the house ever really got finished. I know there's a lot of boards on the back side that don't have bats yet. So in 30 years I haven't finished the house. That's one of those doors that we bought a whole bunch of years ago. They were rejects, they were mahogany, and the glue up wasn't quality. It was, at that time, 30 years ago, they were $500 doors. I think we got them for $55 a piece, and you could see this big old split here. The split wasn't there when we bought it, but we were told it would happen. And there was something in its glue up process was bad. So you see the live oak boards with the horseshoe hangers and the live oak shelving, crown shelving. This is actually redwood, and then the trim and the whole house is POC. It's all Port Orford cedar, scratch and sniff cedar. Tell you what, when you punch one of those logs through the mill, you know it, your sinuses are clear. If you've ever milled Port Orford cedar, you know what I'm talking about. Oops. Who put a chair there? All right, folks, I think the house is ready for the kids to come in and paint and do whatever they want. The floors look actually pretty good. I'll show you the product that we used. All right, there you go. It's Landmark. I got it on Amazon. I did the entire house with less than a gallon. And it recommends 2 coats, but I don't think it's going to need it. So I'll send this gallon off with the kids, and they can maintain the floors with that. I think it was $17 and change shipped on Amazon. And it's good for all kinds of stuff. It said you could use it on pavers, linoleum and wood. And it's really, really a good product. The reviews were really good, and it went down flawlessly, and it's supposed to be pretty durable. It's actually like the stuff when they put the wax down on top of concrete in big commercial buildings. It's this stuff. Well, thanks for coming along with me. The next video over here on this side of the 41 3/4 acres probably will be a while when I decommission the solar. I don't know what day you're going to watch this video, but this is on a Saturday, and on Monday I think the kids are going to start moving in, and I'm pretty sure we're going to leave the chickens and the garden and the orchard their responsibility, and they're going to do just fine. All right, folks, have a blessed day.